Hey, so look, it doesn't surprise me that there are heretics out there preaching lies and preaching heresies and teaching heresies, okay? But what has surprised me is how upfront and blatant they have become in extolling their heresies, okay? Because before, if a heretic wanted to attack eternal security, you know, he would, try to twist something in like First Corinthians or Galatians, and try to teach something like if you're still involved in such and such sin, I don't think you're really saved because I don't think you got what I got. If somebody as big as God moves into you, you're gonna have all this change and then and look, they still say garbage like that. But now, in addition to saying stuff, they'll just come out and say that once saved always. They'll call it a lie of the devil. They'll say it's out of the pit of hell. Just right off the bat. That's what they'll come out and say. And they'll say that imputed righteousness is a myth. They'll attack the Trinity right away. They'll attack the Bible itself. They'll attack creation. They'll attack the Trinity. And when they say all this garbage, because so many people are biblically illiterate, and a lot of them are unsaved, they'll just believe the wolves. And the wolves don't even have to pretend to be sheep anymore. Because that's how biblically illiterate people are. To where they have just zero discernment. To where it's got to a point where the wolves don't even have to pretend, in many cases, to be one of us. Where they just immediately show their fangs. And people just run to the wolves. Crazy. People are outright attacking the blood. And people defend those heretics. People, attack the gospel and claim to be Christians. They attack eternal security openly and boldly. And yet they claim that we're the false converts and that we're not the Christians and we're just the wolves. And look, the word Christian appears 3 times in the Bible, okay? Twice it appears in the book of Acts, and once in it was either 1st or 2nd Peter. Okay, so the first time it appears in the book of Acts, it says, and they were first called Christians at Antioch. Okay, what were they doing at Antioch? They were preaching the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. They were preaching the gospel. Okay, and when Paul interacted with Agrippa later in Acts, and Agrippa said, "Almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian," what was Paul doing? Paul was preaching him Jesus Christ and him crucified. Preaching the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. In 1st or 2nd Peter, where Peter says, if any man suffer as a Christian, well, how do you suffer as a Christian? Well, you get made fun of and, verbally and sometimes physically persecuted for preaching the gospel and believing the gospel, okay? The death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And look, if you reject that Jesus saves, you're not a Christian. If you're going around, saying that once saved, always saved is the lie of the devil, you deny that Jesus saves and you're not a Christian. You're a spiritual transvestite, okay? You think you're something that you're not. And you know, some of these heretics, they are so bold and just out in the open about their damnable heresies, okay? Where they're so confident that people are so Bible stupid, so Bible, illiterate, that they don't even have to backload stuff. They front load their garbage. And that's what shocks me. Because they're not even sneaky and sly anymore. But people are so ignorant of who God is and what Jesus did for them that they just welcome these heretics with open arms. They think they're geniuses. And they fall for the garbage hook, line, and sinker.